I can't even see myself. All right, I got it. Shabbat Shalom, family. See if I can see myself there. Oh, well. So this video is Riots of the Old versus Now. Um, through all of this stuff that's going on, I was still able to get messages that he wants us to get out of it. And so I most certainly want to share the perspective Most High has been wanting us to get through these times, these troubling times. So Shabbat Shalom to you all out there. I'm so grateful to be with you all today. Excited for the Most High's victory that we are going to win on this earth because we know it's Shalom Sasar. We know things do not look the same. Like, oh, things are not going to be the same as it was. We're not going to go back the same peaceful life. What the people were saying, regular lifestyle. Or things are not going to be as calm as it was. But I'm grateful. Excuse me, I got some chocolate. Because I had a Girl Scout cookie. um, but in the midst of all these riots, Abba still is getting the victory. So let's be grateful for that. We got to give him the glory and praise. Um, I'm gonna go into prayer so that we can have this stream be covered, from nonsense and foolishness. All right. And my east is actually facing this way. So it's the way I'm gonna go face. And when I came out this rising to blow the shofar, it sounds so good, y'all. So I might just get bare feet. I'm already bare feet. I stay bare feet. All right. Praying towards the east, family, which is this way. I'll let you guys look at the beautiful view as I pray. Hallelujah. All praise and glory and honor to the Most High. In the name of your son, Yeshua, thank you for this wonderful Shabbat. We know that the importance of your Shabbat is never to be compromised by anything else that's going on in this world. But we thank you, Father. We give you glory and honor and praise because you have given us rest, even as you have rested yourself. And we pray for the family and loved ones of ours who are being victimized by the oppressors, but those who are willfully sinning, we pray that they will come and find you, that we all will not lean to our own understanding, but lean to yours, and walk in the fullness of your truth. In the mighty name of Yeshua, so be it. Hallelujah. Thank you, Abba. All right, family. We're going to be in Luke 23. Luke, I'll probably flop down looking real funny, too. I can't hardly see my face. It's really dark. What's the view y'all getting to see? Are y'all seeing, here, let me see if I turn. See if I sit over here, if I can see better. Is it like really, really dark? Are you guys getting to see me clear? Let me see some. I know a way I can find out. How y'all Shabbat going so far, family? Let me see. Yeah, it do look dark. It does look very, very dark. Okay, let me see if I put my umbrella down. So, if that's gonna make it better. All right. Well, it ain't even about me. So, there go the sun. All praises. So we're gonna be in Luke 23, family, and the reason why I want to be in Luke 23 is because our people were rioting then, and there's something I was just thinking about in regards to our people rioting. It was like, yeah, they always whenever our people reflect on what it means we tried to go about getting justice, from always mentioning MLK and Malcolm X and this and the third. I'm here to take your mind back further than that when we were rioting. Well, not rioting. They want to say rioting or protest. I should retitle it, because the riots are basically, it's just violence, would say. So I meant to say protest versus Denton or now riots or whatever. But at this point, we can see it's all at the stage of riots. because people are destroying things. In my husband and I's video, I said this wasn't. I was like, people complaining, political people complaining about businesses and stuff like that about what's going on. You know, majority of the ones that's complaining about it, they sat back on times when they could have done things that the people who were destroying it were living in that community. So it's just best that they should have given them what they wanted rather than allowed this to get to the place it did. But as I'm looking at that now, it's quite interesting because remember, a lot of what we done to our Mashiach is actually, or what he went through, we're going to have to go through. And I was saying in the video that those who were complaining about these buildings, you need to just take that and just keep it moving, because at the end of the day, there's destruction that's promised in this word to this earth. So, yeah, that's so stupid. Like, none of this considered is concerned to the Most High. Only people he's like the mayor of Minneapolis said, Jacob Frey, he was like, the brick and mortar don't hold more significance than a person. So when we read, I want to come over to Luke 23. Okay. Might need to go get my shades on. 23. I want to start at verse 28, and then I'm going to start from there. Is that the one I'm looking for? Oh, is it verse 28? Yes, verse 28. But Yasha, turning unto them, said, Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For behold, the days are coming in which they shall say, Blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bare, and the paps which never gave suck. Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and to the hills cover us. For they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in the dry. Wow. Do you hear what he's saying right there, family? Right there in that he's saying, don't weep for me. Okay, this is Yeshua on his way to Calvary. All right, and notice he said, don't cry for me, but cry for yourselves and for your children. So what people are to this day crying for themselves and their children? Our people, right? And so we're seeing within here, he's telling, well, why would you think the Mashiach's telling them not to weep and not to cry? Well, simple for him, but cry for your sons, because just like we're witnessing, our ancestors witnessed the Mashiach going to Calvary, we're now witnessing our sons and daughters and our brothers and sisters and our people, being slaughtered and brutalized and abused and falsely accused and all kinds of things. Right? Notice he said, then shall they say to them, okay, for it shall come to pass. Where's that verse at? For the days, verse 29, for behold, the days are coming in which they shall say, Blessed are the barren. You would think about why they say, Blessed are the barren. If a woman's not having to worry about children in the days of what's coming on the earth, she won't have to worry about, okay, well, that's my child. I'll just say that you're one less person that's going to be affected if you see your brother or sister being hurt. But that's one thing you don't have to worry about. If you don't have children, you don't have to ever worry and say, I worry about if my child is going to be shot down the street, or my daughter going to be raped or brutalized, or, become a bedwench or something like that. And the wombs that never bears, it's like we went from time, like I was saying in the video the other day, about how it was an honor for women to be fighting over having children. Now it's going to come to a point in time where if you don't have a child, you more likely to survive than somebody to do, because you got to worry about not just yourself but your children. Not, you don't have to worry, but you got to take in consideration for you and your children. Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and to the hills cover us. Okay. For if they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in the dry? So people doing things, because let's read up a verse to 26. Or matter of fact, let's go to verse, I'll say 26. And as they led him away, they laid hold upon him, upon one, Simon, and they laid hold upon. Okay, they already read that. And as they led him away, they laid hold upon one, Simon a Syrian, I guess how you say it, coming out of the country, and on him they laid the cross that he might bear it after Yasha. So that was when that guy came to help. Um, now his name was Simon. A brother came to help the Mashiach, and there followed him. Notice, just it said help. Even in the Mashiach, let me stop right there. Even in the Mashiach's time of when he was going to Calvary, he was carrying his cross or carrying the weapon they killed him, or whether he wanted to bait the cross with a stick. I ain't here for that. However, he was executed. When he was so bad he couldn't carry, a brother came forth and helped him. So in the time of Mashiach suffering, our people didn't let nobody, they want nobody taking pictures. Like, well, our people, majority of them didn't help. One did. So it's the same with us. It ain't a crime if you see someone and hurt. And it's like the Good Samaritan. Are you going to be that one person that just walk on by? This brother came and helped the Mashiach carried, Yasha carried, help him in a time of need like that. And there followed him a great company of people, and of women which also bewailed and lamented him. So it was women who cared about him. Just like our people now who out there, when they see stuff going on, they show up to the scene, they cry and they lament for these lost souls of our brothers and sisters out here. Right. And then there's another crowd, just like it say here. And there follow him a great company of people and of women which also bewailed and lamented him. America. Yes, there had became a large company that has responded to these cities of the protesting. But within these protests are people who are crying and bewailing the hurt of George Floyd. That does not mean those who are out there causing destruction are a part of our ones who are mourning. But y'all know that. Y'all know, y'all can see that. There's no truth that we can ever give y'all that will convince y'all to not be who y'all are. Y'all can't change the wickedness you have. And now we see why when the Mashiach told our sisters and brothers back then, who were then crying as well, don't wail for me, but cry for yourselves and your children. And it goes to say it's gonna come a time when those who don't have children, it's gonna be better for them. Blessed are the barren. But Yahshua turning to them said, daughters of Jerusalem, daughters of Zion, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. See that? I want to show another one. Where's my other note I had? Okay, now let's go over here to John chapter 19. Telling them, don't cry. Now here we are, crying for ourselves and our loved ones. Our men are even crying. You got people with a name Killer Mike crying, talking about, I got this family member that's an officer, this family member that's an officer, this person. That. So we see your cry is coming for your family that's officer. So you're not coming out for our people. You're not nation minded. You can no ways indeed be. You haven't been transformed by the renewing of the word. Because this word is the only thing that's going to make you nation minded. I was about to read. Okay, we're going to go to Luke. No, we were just in Luke. John 19. John, Matthew, Mark, Luke. John. Okay, John chapter 19, verse 12. When I seen them this rising crying about the bills and all this, I'm like, we still got priorities. Well, there's some still have priorities out of order. Yes, the buildings they do benefit those the bodies are living. That is important, but at the same time, you should already know that those white supremacists and those kind of people that they're marching against, protesting against, are going to take that for an exact opportunity to come in and destroy. Our people don't need to protest no more with other nations around them. They don't need. We don't even need to be out there acting like we see them acting stupid. And I'm seeing people speaking up, saying stuff, and I'm glad they are. Yo, that's not good. You shouldn't do that. This and the third. Like I love to see stuff like that. John 19, verse 12. From thenceforth Pilate sought to release him, but the Yahudim cried out, saying, If thou let this man go, thou art not Caesar's friend. Whosoever maketh a king, himself king, speaketh against Caesar. You will hear this right here. Anybody to make themselves a king, or make themselves sovereign, or make themselves as more than just a subject, they speak against Caesar. Our mindset back then as a people was the only person we respected was Caesar. And it's still to this day, because the only person we feel that can give us respectful standards is them. How we talk about them and how they're not fit, notice, and third. But our people still rely that they got to give us proper protocols for things to be handled. That's why Joe Biden was like, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Because when you read this, that was the attitude our ancestors had towards our Mashiach. They saying you ain't a friend of Caesar's. In other words, we're gonna tell. And things for Pilate sought to release. And mind you, this is all in rioting. They're out in the streets acting like this. This is towards the end of the Mashiach. He's about to be crucified. And I don't mean to seem like I'm being insensitive to our people suffering, but sometimes the Mashiach, the Father could be like, whoa, does this not look familiar? Being betrayed, being mocked, being ridiculed, being hated, being lied on. And while you being down, some people rather throw stones at you, when maybe one or two at the crowd might jump out and help. There was only one that was beside him being executed, who said, when you get to the place where you're going, let me get there. And there was only one that came forth and helped him carry his execution tool. But the sisters behind him crying, with him all through it, with him all through it all. Pilate sought to release him. But the Yahudim cried out, saying, If thou let this man go, you are not Caesar's friend. Whosoever maketh himself. This is the same mindset that even the prosecutors had when it came to that wicked man. If we convict him, we're not friends. So you have to understand, family, there is no disagreements with the other nations that they're going to allow them to not be on one accord to properly go to war. But our disagreements are allowing us to not properly be prepared in our war. I want to go back to Luke chapter 23, and I want to look at verse 11. Need to get more shades. Luke 23, verse 11. Now here comes the mocking part, family. Here comes the mocking. All right. And Herod with his men of war set him at naught, and mocked him, and arrayed him with a gorgeous robe, and set him again to Pilate. So they're mocking him. I want y'all to be able to hear what was really said when Joe Biden said, you're not black. When he said that nonsense, he was saying a lot. First of all, he was mocking the woke ones, because the woke ones were saying, we're not black. We're the Israelites. That's what we've been saying, right? So when he said, if you don't vote for me, you're not woke. You're not black. In other words, if you vote for me, you're obviously not woke. Because a person who's woke is not even going to be sitting here discussing. If you so strong and mighty, this is how they like laugh in your face. They mocked our king. Are we supposed to think that they're not going to mock us? Are we supposed to think there's going to be any regard for us when we look at how our king was treated? Just in those few scriptures I shared. And the same day Pilate and Herod were made friends together, for before they were at enmity between themselves. So at the same day that the brother George Floyd was dying, you could see Edom standing here guarding for Esau. I mean Moab. Moab standing here guarding Esau. Mind you, this everybody knows Mr. David Calvin or whatever his name. his whole wife, Chinese Miss Tennessee pageant girl, she wrote a whole bad check. And I wonder if that guy that officer was watching, if that was his brother, her brother, Mr. Chunky Asian guy. He's so like I don't want to. I don't really care. Guess what? All the wickedness that's going on is going to be exposed. People say, "Oh, he might get out there. He might get out. This and the third. Da, 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 da." It doesn't matter what justice they serve or don't serve. The Most High's justice and judgment will not be able to be manipulated by man. Like, it can't be delayed. It's still gonna happen. Even if we had such laws where we were allowed to implement, which we really do have laws, we just don't implement our laws. We just don't respect our laws. They're showing you how serious they are with their laws. We don't respect ours. Because it said here when it came to Mashiach, over here in Luke 23, they go, we have a law. And it's like Pontius Pilate kept trying to let Mashiach go, let him go. And they said, we have a law where we're not supposed to let a man live to say he the king. So if a person thinks more than what Master teach them to think, they're a tyrant. So the Mashiach was what they consider today's people as a tyrants. Like the Mashiach was a threat and a force to them that we are today. Those that know who you are, those that know the truth, those that are doing the best you can to keep commandments of the Most High. You're a tyrant and a radical. You're named crazy, extreme to the other people. You're named off like, we're weird to them. But notice, just look at this. You can see how there are people are rioting out there. They're screaming, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Let me see Luke 23. Okay, let's start with verse 1. And the whole multitude of them arose and led him unto Pilate. Do you see what the power of multitudes can do? Mind you, Pilate's minding his business. Herod somewhere minding his business, being wicked. Okay. And our people in an outroar in the city over a man who came to lay down his life for them. And they began to accuse him, saying, we found this fellow perverting the nation and forbidding to give tribute to Caesar, saying that he himself is Christ a king. So it's like, put yourself in the shoe. We done found these people who sit here saying they the Israelites, they the people of the Most High, they the children of the Most High, forbidding and teaching against Christianity, and they're out here telling everybody that's keeping Sunday, they're just crazy, right? Same thing happened to our king. And Pilate asked saying, art thou the king of the Jews? So they're gonna ask you, are you who you say you are? Are you gonna be willing to profess that day? Because you know what comes with it. And he answered him and said, thou sayest. Put it now, we're applying wisdom in our responses, knowing how to respond to these devils. Are you the king of the Jews? Like they saying, you this Jew? And let me tell you something. If he said thou sayest, question the manner that the question was given. Because he didn't just ask. Even in his saying it, he probably must have believed it or said it in fearfulness, or we don't know how Pilate said it. But the Mashiach said here, you say it. Thou sayest. Then said Pilate to the chief priests and to the people, I find no fault in this man. And they were the more fierce, saying, he stirreth up the people, teaching throughout all Judea, beginning from Galilee to this place. So he stirred up the people. So his message stirred people up. His message was not something that was an ear tickler or something that would calm people from the average, message. His message was a force within itself. Of course, his message was the truth. He stirreth up the people, teaching throughout all Judea, beginning from Galilee to this place. When Pilate heard from Galilee, he asked whether the man were a Galilean. As soon as he knew that he belonged unto Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him to Herod, who himself also was at Jerusalem at that time. So here they go playing their little The DA got a contact with such and such an office, and this song. So here goes them and their political nonsense. Just like people want to wait around for trials and this, that, and the third because of an uproar. So we got the people all in the uproar, and he's like, "Well, even though you here, you ain't even my jurisdiction. Y'all acting a fool, and you ain't even bringing the problem to the proper jurisdiction. Not only that, our people, some of them, uproaring, acting a fool. The damage is being done under the jurisdiction of our cry. So who's gonna be blamed for it? Our people." All right. And when Herod saw Yeshua, he was exceedingly glad, for he was desired to see him for a long season, because he had heard many things of him, and he hoped to have seen some miracle done by him. Then he questioned him with many words, but he answered him nothing. And the chief priests and scribes stood and vehemently, very vehemently accused him. So they coming rough. They're coming hard. It's getting worse by the minute. And Herod with his men of war set him at naught, and mocked him and arrayed him in a gorgeous robe, and set him again to Pilate. So he wasn't just ready to see the Mashiach. One, he realized